Hey guys, it's your girl Crystal, and I'm here with a wire bra tutorial on how to cover and pad your wire bra. So first off, you're going to need a wire bra, a marker, scissors, of course, and a glue gun, glue sticks, as well as strips of fabric. I just used some that I had laying around, and padding. I use sponge padding, but you can use bra padding as well. So I just cut out a big giant piece of it. I didn't want to use the whole thing, obviously. And what I do when I'm cutting out the shapes for my wire bras for the padding, I turn the wire bra upside down on the inside. The inside's facing me, and I take the outline of the shape with a marker onto the padding. It's just easier this way if the wire bra is upside down facing me versus the other way, because you can't really get a definite shape if you do it on its curved, if you're doing it while it's resting on its flat side. So I tend to turn it onto its curved side and then take the shape. So now that we have our shapes, I'm gonna just cut around the shape out of the sponge. And I love using this material just because it's nice and soft against your breast, well, your boobs. Doesn't really irritate or anything like that. It has a nice thickness. It can absorb sweat. It's great. It's soft, but you can use like a regular bra, like literally cut the padding out of a bra, or if you have sticky foam. Sticky foam is great as well. It is a bit soft as well too, but it's just a bit stiffer than this type of material. So now that we have our shapes, yay, we're gonna get our wire bra and we are going to kind of line them up just to see if they overlap a bit. We want to make sure that the shapes aren't the exact same size as the wire bra cups, because we need to make sure that they overlap a little bit just to make sure that they fit onto the bra properly. So what I'm doing right now is, oh, about to burn myself, of course, but what I'm doing is outlining the shape with glue. And what I'm going to do is basically press it up against the wire cup and kind of like just, stick it on there. Adjust it, like fit it onto it like as comfortably as I can without burning myself. I definitely did burn myself a few times. And then I'm going around it to make sure that each part of the cup is glued to the padding. Just want to make sure that that is done. Don't worry about the overlapping right now. We just want to make sure that the padding is glued to the cup. So we're going to do the same thing with the second cup, just outlining it with glue. And then we're going to press it up. I start at the tip and then kind of just press it into the cup, keeping it as straight as possible, maneuvering it if I need to, like, kind of bending the padding around the wire if needed. But this is why it's very important to give yourself some, space, or what I like to call seam allowance. So then once you've fastened the padding onto the wire, then you can go around and then you can trim the excess off. That's why I said don't worry about it, because at the end of the day, it's not going to be perfect. You can always come back and you can fix it up and, make it your own. Clean it up is what I'm doing right now, basically, with the scissors. And taking off the excess and making it nice and neat. So we're going to basically do this to both sides. And you can also get off that markered piece, even though it won't be seen, because once you put the fabric over it, it's going to cover it up. Right. So, and we're going to go to the second cup and do the same thing. Just trim off the excess. I want to say give yourself like a quarter seam allowance. Like for those who sew, you know what I mean, like when I say quarter seam allowance, but like a quarter of an inch from where you're, like the point where you're drawing, just to give yourself some extra room once you put the padding on, because you don't want it to be the exact same size, because it's going to be very difficult to place it on. So now that the cups are padded, we're going to cut like little spaghetti strips so that we can pad the wires that are still semi-exposed. So yes, we're gonna cover or pad, I would like to say, we're gonna pad the upside down V shape, which sits between your boobs, like right in the middle of your sternum, and then we're gonna cover the sides as well. Well, we're gonna pad the sides as well. This, a lot of people, I would say, don't do this, but this helps with added comfort for those who like to really pull their wire bras like really close up onto themselves. It helps when you do that because it'll make the area softer. You won't get bruises or anything like that, because at the end of the day, it is wire. It can cause, like, some type of bruising to your body if it's not padded correctly. So what I'm doing with the strips is basically cutting them down and shaping them to the wire bra, and then gluing them in place, covering, making sure that the sponge or the padding is a bit bigger than the actual wire, because we kind of want it to just like completely cover it. You don't want to see it at all from the back, because then that means it'll give you a good bit of comfort or a good bit of support or softness in those areas where you won't feel like the irritation of the wire rubbing itself against your body. So we're doing this on the sides as well. And basically is super easy. It's not really difficult. Like, you're just laying the pieces of the skinny cut padding and fastening it with the glue onto the wireframe. Yeah, easy peasy. It's like little French fries, basically. So yeah. Yeah, and I kind of cut enough, like right before the little circle eyelet thing that where you'd place your strap, because you kind of don't want to pad that area because it's going to be very hard to wrap it. You only want to pad the areas like the V shape and the part where it goes around the boob on the outside. So what I did, I went ahead and I cut 2 pieces of fabric that were big enough to cover both cups. And what I'm doing now is basically just covering the cup with glue, and then I'm making sure that my fabric has overlapped on each side of the cup, bottom side, inside, outside. We're going to do that with this cup as well. This is very important. Very important. You don't want to cut it too short, because at the end of the day, what you're going to end up doing is overlapping it, and you want to make sure you overlap the fabric onto the inside. And we're doing the same thing. And what I did is I tug at it just a little bit, just to give it like a nice, neat finish. And with the glue, it's going to dry just like that with that same exact tension. So now what I'm doing basically is what I did with the padding. I'm going around the cups and I'm leaving like a quarter seam allowance. I want to say a quarter inch allowance around the cup, because what I'm going to do with that quarter inch allowance is I'm going to fold it over onto the other side of the cup. And it's going to help to keep the fabric and the padding secure onto the wire bra frame. I'm also cutting the corners so it's easier for the fabric to fold where the wire meets the cup. So it, kind of folds a lot neater, and it's cuter, and, it's not like crazy looking. Yeah, so basically, what I'm doing all of the corners where the wire meets the cup, and, just taking my time with that. And I'm also cutting off the excess on the other sides of the cup as well. Just trimming it so, it's not like uneven once I fold the fabric over onto the inside of the cup. We want it to look neat, be cute, comfortable, all at the same time. So all of this helps with that at the end of the day, So right now we've cut all the excess off, and now we're gonna fold the fabric over, starting at the bottom. Ow, definitely burned myself there. I felt that. But as you can see, like literally I'm just going with it because I've burned myself so many times. And you know, it always happens when I am doing this or decorating a bra. But as you can see, I'm basically folding the fabric over and trying to be as neat as possible. This also helps with securing the padding onto the frame. It's just like, I want to say, it's just like security. Like it definitely helps to keep that padding in place. The glue will help tremendously as well. And then once I'm done with the bottom, I start off at the top. So like I just fold over at the tips of the cups on both sides. And I feel like once I have that down, I have the fabric completely secured to the wire bra. For those who don't want to feel like, you know, for those who are like scared of getting burned, there are these very cute little thumb covers. They're like rubber covers. I had a pack before I lost them. I totally need to get a new pack. I'm gonna find a link on Amazon and I'm going to link it in the description for you guys. And I'm gonna order a pair for myself. But usually when I'm doing this, I would burn myself a lot. It's just because I'm still kind of a rookie. I would like to say I'm still kind of a rookie, and the burns don't hurt as much as they used to in the beginning, but sometimes I get caught off guard and there's one that just, you know, it just comes for me. So yeah. So basically, as you can see, I'm going around the cup and bending, well, folding over the fabric onto the padding. And like I said, it helps to secure the padding to the wire bra. The glue helps to secure the fabric to the padding. It all works well together. It's like a wonderful built family. Oh, excuse me. I tend to make up words sometimes. I don't know. I think it's just the creative side of me when I'm creating stuff. But yeah, as you can see, literally, it all works to make sense, if that makes sense. You can't like none of these parts to building the wire bra, like they all work together to make this a functional item. So as you can see, we flip the wire bra over, and now what we're gonna do is basically wrap the raw wire that's still exposed with strips of the fabric. So now the strips that I cut out are either usually an inch thick, or sometimes 3/4 of an inch. It really depends. And what I'll do is I'll dab on a little bit of glue, and then I will start wrapping and until I can't see any wire. Now I don't wrap the loops. I know some people do. I tend to not do it just because to me it's a little bit too tedious for me. I like being able to see where the loop is, and and I feel like with fabric that may cause, by wrapping the loop, it may cause, like, you know, it may be harder for you to actually pull the straps through the loop. So I like to keep my loops open, you know. It's a wire bra at the end of the day, so you know it's a wire bra when you see wire loops. So like I said, I take a bit of glue, and I will start like at the semicircle at the top where the strap goes in, and I'll cover a bit of it because you don't want to see the ending of that loop. You want it to be wrapped and secure underneath the fabric. and just wrapping and wrapping and wrapping as we go. You can add more glue if you want. I've done this so many times, so I'm just using very little bits of glue. And it works well for me. I mean, I think at the beginning I used to use so much glue. I might still use a lot of glue. For those who are watching, like some of you might be like, oh my god, she's using too much glue. But you know, at the end of the day, you should have seen me when I first started, okay? It was so much glue, oh my god. So anyway, now we're getting closer to the end, and basically I'm just wrapping the upside down V, which is basically what I like to call the breastbone of the wire bra, because it sits right between your boobs basically. It sits like on your sternum, which is your breastbone. So I'm just taking a piece of fabric and I'm wrapping it like I wrapped the outside wires. Just starting again because I ran out of fabric on that last strap, but I'll start from the other end and then wrap it to meet where I stopped. I don't like to really start at a stop point where it's not like the cup or anything. That's just a funny habit I have, and I feel like it's just neater if you start at the cup. All right, so with that, as you can see, I mean, for some, you don't have to do this last step. I personally practice this last step because I sell wire bras, and I feel like you should definitely cover the insides and keep them as clean as possible. And sometimes, like the fold over, once you fold a fabric over onto the padding, it can become a little bumpy or like a little irritant onto, you know, your breast, because at the end of the day, you are placing this onto your chest. So you want it to be as comfortable as possible, or as clean as possible, as smooth as possible on the inside. Because once you put it up against your chest, it's like, you know, you're going to wear this all day. I just want to feel comfortable. So I add this extra step just for comfort and for neatness as well. So I'm going to do this same layering with the extra strips that I have cut out around all of the edges. Like I said, I've already went through it. You don't have to do this. Some people might be able to just cover their wire bra and it might just turn out super neat without them having to do this extra step. I'm not that person. I wasn't blessed to be that neat. So I tend to just go back over my work and try to make it as neat as possible, and voila, there we go. So yeah, basically the wire bra is done. I just want to show you guys what I have begun doing with this wire bra. I started decorating it with some amazing sequin material that I've had stored in my house for a few years. But the next video is going to be about decorating a wire bra. So stay tuned if you want to get into this. Thanks. Bye.